Councillor Penner to add a late delegation. All those in favour? Opposed? Carried. So we'll call for the adoption of the June 28, 2010 council meeting with our amended agenda. Moved by Councillor Pollock, seconded by Councillor West. All those in favour? Opposed? Carried. Confirmation of the minutes from June 14th, 2010. Moved by Councillor Wright, seconded by Councillor Pollock. Any errors or omissions? All those in favour? Opposed? Carried. So, but just so you know, yeah, it'll be 7A, our delegation. So it'll come after Bob Lee from Canada Day. All right, our first item up is our ongoing council community connections, and we have Hazel Trembath elementary school students here to talk about their fish fry release. So I'm very pleased to introduce them here. We have a group of kindergarten students and one grade 1 student. If you guys want to come forward, that would be great. They're joined by their teacher, Pat Staffrick, who oversaw the release of the salmon fry into the High Creek during one of their field trips this year. They'll be sharing some of the information about their project with us, and we hope that you enjoy them, or invite them here this evening. And go ahead. I'm glad we got you a stool there.
And I go to Hazel Trembath Elementary School. Your worship and council members. In January, our class began learning about salmon and their life cycle. We were fortunate enough to have a large tank in our school to incubate eggs and raise them until they reach the fry stage. We got our tank ready and we put 55 eggs into a nest that we made and waited for them to hatch. We tried to create a similar habit for our salmon eggs that would appear in nature. We kept the water cold by icing it twice a day and kept the tank as dark as it would be in nature. Soon our eggs changed into eyed eggs and then hatched into alevin. We continued to care for them daily, and when the alevin lost their yolk sacs and turned into fry, we knew it was soon time to release them into the water system they had come from. We were very successful in raising 50 healthy fry. We planned a field trip to the Hyde Creek Hatchery and Educational Center in Port Coquitlam. At the hatchery, we took turns gently letting our little salmon swim into the creek and hide under the rocks and dark areas of the shallow water. We had a tour of the hatchery and learned about different kinds of salmon and how they were hatched and raised there. We also learned how important it is to protect and respect the environment that the salmon live in. We learned that 2 out of 2,500 eggs survive to spawn in nature, and with the help, 12 will survive. My name is Daphne Vander Wettering, and I come from Hazel Trembath Elementary School. A salmon's journey is long and hard from its beginning as an egg in a freshwater creek to the river the river system and out to the ocean. It will meet many predators and swim through rough and polluted waters as it grows to an adult fish and then returns to its birthplace at the end of its life cycle. Each year it becomes harder and harder for the salmon to survive, and now we are beginning to realize that the salmon that once returned to their spawning grounds are decreasing in huge numbers. As children, we have learned that it is important that we help to keep our creeks and water systems clean and unpolluted. We know that the storm drains that may have yellow fish painted beside them allow water to flow off our streets but go into ditches, creeks, and river systems. We know that this is only for water and not for toxic chemicals, paint, oil, gas, or soap. We want the salmon we raise in our classroom to have a better chance of survival when we release them into our local waters.
My name is Ben Christie from Hazel Trembath Elementary School. Last year, someone poured paint into the storm drains 2 weeks after we released our salmon. This year, soap and toxins were flushed into the storm drains hours after we released our salmon fry. We are here tonight to express our concern and disappointment about these unacceptable actions. We will continue to participate in the Salmon Enhancement Program and try to help educate others to respect and protect our environment in a more socially responsible way. We encourage the members of council to support our local hatchery and its volunteers in helping to educate our residents and businesses in our community. We thank you all for letting us share our concerns and appreciate the support that you have already demonstrated in your recent letter to us. Thank you.
Well, that's a good speaker. He knows to end on a high. So we want to thank you guys for showing leadership in our community and not only incubating and bringing salmon to the High Creek hatchery to release them, but also through some of the unfortunate experiences that you had where people have released different things into the drains in front of their house, which has had big effects onto High Creek and many of the other creeks that we have, and educating our community on how important it is. And that's why there's yellow fish on all of the drains, to remind people that when they put stuff down that drain, where it's going. It's not going out to some filtration plant to get filtered and take the toxins out. It's going right into our creek system. So thank you so much for your presentation, and thanks to you for the parents and your principal for coming out today to support you in your endeavor. And thank you. So next on our agenda, we have a few very, very special presentations in our community tonight, and we thank everyone for coming out to